everyone, welcome back to another one of my videos. Today I am going to be doing something a little bit different than normal. Actually going to be giving my opinion on the changes that SSO has been making recently. So if you haven't noticed already, I'm kind of just doing the quest for this past week's update in the background. Feel free to watch that. I'm just going to be talking over that instead of actually reviewing it. It was just another race from this squirrel that we met a couple weeks ago or whatever, so nothing too thrilling anyways. So I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts on the changes SSO has been making with their events and just kind of how they're going about doing that. And I kind of wanted to know what you guys thought about it. So if you guys want to, feel free to comment down below and let me know your guys' thoughts if you like agree with their changes or not. So we're going to get right into this. So a couple days ago, SSO posted this on their Instagram. I'll put it up so you guys can see it. And the caption is, "Hey Star Fam, some of you have been asking, hey, don't you celebrate Easter in Jorvik? Although some regions do. It's events like the Rainbow Festival and the Jorvik Stables Open House that steal the show on our island." So I'm going to pause for a second. I actually find these events to be kind of some of the smaller ones, like not the Rainbow Festival, but like the Jorvik Open House and like the Red String Trail Ride. Like I don't consider those events like super involving within the community because like everything that you do for those you can kind of do on your own and you don't really need other people to do them. I know at least with the Red String Trail Ride, like we'll do that with like my club and my close friends, so it's kind of a little bit more fun. But like the Jorvik Open House, we never do anything. Like I just do that by myself. Anyways, while our party planning efforts are not on Easter this year, you can race this summer in the skies at the Rainbow Festival aside the Jorvik Rangers with Midsummer and practice your best dressage routines in the arena at the open house. We love how much events bring our community together to celebrate each other and the wonders of Jorvik, so of course later this year you can get wild at Halloween and bundle up for the Winter Village too. And finally, get ready. It's a very special birthday year for everyone in Jorvik, so start decorating your party hats. So, in that kind of last little bit, you can see that they understand that these events bring the community together, and they do get that. So, it's not like they're just like throwing them out. It's just they're busy doing other stuff, which I think is okay. I also decided to check out the comments underneath this post because I was just curious, because a lot of people have been asking about the events and things, so I wanted to see, what else was kind of on people's minds and what Star Stable was kind of thinking or the direction that they kind of want to head in. And I found this one that says, someone asked, will there be April Fools this year? To which Star Stable responded, we've had a lot of fun previous years with April Fools, but it's a lot of work for just one day. Instead, the game team is putting an effort into working on new quests and things to do in the game that many of you have been telling us you would like to see more of. So, obviously, I think this is great that they are working on new things that we want to see in game and not just like constantly bringing back old events. But also, I think it would be good to kind of just update some of the events, and make them a little bit more relevant to today than just kind of like getting rid of them altogether. Like, I still think that we should have Easter. Like, I can understand the April Fool's thing too, though, because like they said, it is a lot of work for one day, but it is so worth it. Like, April Fools is the days that you remember on SSO. Like, you remember Car Stable, you remember Small Stable, you remember the Giant Shire, you remember the color changing horses. Like, these are just things that you remember. The little raptor angel kind of conscious thing that flied around with us that one year. Like, you remember these things because they're so funny and just out of the blue, and they're so unique. Like, SSO is always really good about coming up with unique and funny things to do for April Fools. So I think I'm kind of upset. Yeah, I am kind of upset that they didn't bring that back this year because it's always one of like the most memorable days for SSO, I think, that they could have. But I also understand that, if you're working on a bunch of other stuff, you don't always have time to bring back old stuff. And also, some of you can kind of tell that the events look really old. Like, you can tell they are definitely from old Star Stable. Like, they desperately need to be updated. So, even though I am upset that they have been kind of taking away the events, I'm hoping that maybe it's just so they can kind of like update them and rework them so they're better for us. And eventually that maybe they'll all come back and they'll kind of be like how we used to have them. And maybe they'll even add in some more stuff, like have June be specifically for Pride Month and not just kind of like some weird leprechaun knockoff thing. So I think it's also really important to just recognize that as a community, these events really did bring us together. Like, I understand that, um, like if you think about it, if you've ever been on SSO and looked in global chat, like if you're doing any like normal quest or whatever and you ask for help, literally no one responds to you. And if they do, they're just like, oh, go look it up. And looking something up is kind of hard, especially if you don't remember like the specific quest name or you don't know exactly like which quest you're looking for specifically, because there's a bunch of little side ones that like no one remembers. So it's just kind of really hard to do some of those. And people on SSO aren't always the most helpful. But I remember, at least when we had the Galentine's Day event and just kind of the other events in general, the community really comes together and like will help other people with these events, because I think we understand that like it's limited, it's not going to be here forever. So like getting the tack and clothes that we want that come with these events, like we need to work together to make sure that we can all get them, because sometimes some of the things we have to do for them is a little bit weird. Like I remember for Valentine's Day, there used to be this group race that you had to do in order to get the hearts to trade in to get your outfit and tack for that year. And like if you try to do a great group, oh my gosh, and if you try to do a group race with like anyone else during any other time of the year, like that would be so weird to just like pull a bunch of strangers into a group and do a race. Like it'd be so weird. And like if you didn't win, you'd definitely be judged. Like you could just feel them judging you through the screen. But like for Valentine's Day, it was so much different. Like people were always trying to get in groups and they were always like asking people like, "Hey, do you need a group? Like we've got some spots open. Do you want to join?" Or like there was always people around Jorvik Stables advertising for groups to like help other people do the races. Even if like they already had their things, they would still go back and like be in groups just so other people could do the race and get the hearts that they needed to trade in. And I think that's really cool because like Galentine's Day is the only time that I really ever saw that within the community, is that like we were really brought together by that event. And so this year when we didn't have it, it just kind of disappointed me, because I know I have definitely met a bunch of good friends from that event, because I was just able to, randomly get in a group and we started talking and it was great. And so I've made a bunch of friends from that event. But like we weren't able to do that this year, and it just kind of made me a little bit sad, because that was like one of my favorite events. Is I always thought that was so cool. But I also understand SSO's point of view that like yeah, these events are nice and stuff and they do bring the community together, but like also they're providing things that we've asked for instead. So I think it's really good that they're working on things that we want to see in game. But also I really like the events. Like the holiday events are kind of some of my favorite things that you can do in SSO. One other quick thing I want to address before I kind of like close out and end here is that SSO does say that like they're working on new quests and things that we've asked for to bring into the game. And I understand like some of the things we asked for are kind of out there and might take a while to like implement into the game. But for me, it's just really frustrating to see that they're taking away events and we're not getting anything new in return, you know? Like, I understand that making quests takes a while, especially if it's main story quests, because those are always so, like, involving and it just takes a lot of work to get those done. But, like, also on the other hand, if you're gonna take away things like Easter and stuff, at least, like, be replacing it with something. Because, like, think about it, these past couple of weeks, like, we just got more horses and then 2 new races. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the what they're replacing it with isn't worth it. Like I'd much rather have the Easter event than get 2 new races, you know? So I just kind of I don't know. If I saw them making changes, I think I'd be a little bit more okay with them taking away events, and not having them to the scale that they used to. But it's just kind of frustrating when you can't see them doing anything, even though like I know they're probably doing a bunch of stuff behind the scenes, but it's just frustrating because you can't really ever see that until it's done. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you be okay with them taking away events if they kind of like showed us a little bit more of what they were doing behind the scenes, and if there was like something more to look forward to instead? I think I'm going to wrap it up now at this point because I've done a lot of talking. I'm kind of getting sick of my own voice. So that's going to be it for today's video. I will see you guys on Monday and have a great weekend. Bye, guys!